Hello everyone, I'm going to draw the graph of a piecewise function. So we have a three-piece piecewise function here and we have a nice blank coordinate system to draw it on. If the piecewise function was written by a reasonable human being, then what we should notice is as we go from top to bottom in the equation itself, our graphs will show up left to right on the coordinate system over here. So in order to do this, you need to know how to graph a line. Now, let's take a look at this first line right here. That really says f of x equals x. Now, the f of x equals x graph is kind of that perfect diagonal line that goes right through the origin like this. But we don't want the entire graph. We only want a piece of it. In fact, we only want it for the values that are less than -4. So we find -4 over here on the x-axis, and we only want it for x values that are less than -4, which means we don't want any of this part of the graph right here. We do want to keep our arrow down here, because since it just says less than -4, the graph does keep going to the left forever, but then once we actually get up to the -4 here, because you will notice there is no equal to on this less than, we put a hollow point. So that is the graph, f of x equals x, but strictly limited to the interval x values less than -4. And that's actually the first piece of our piecewise function. All right, the next piece exists between the x values of -4 and 3. Between the x values of -4 and 3. Now, in order to graph a line, what you actually need is you need 2 points on the line. And regardless of if you have an equal to or you don't have the equal to, one way you can get 2 points is by plugging in these two numbers. Just remembering that when you plug in a number next to an equal to, you get a solid point. And when you plug in a number that doesn't have an equal to, like the 3, you're going to get a hollow point. So check this out, everyone. I'm going to look at the equation, y equals -2x plus 1. I'm going to plug in a -4, and I'm going to plug in a 3. Now, when you plug in -4, you get -2 times -4, which is 8, plus 1, which is 9. -4, 9. And because there's an equal to on that part of the inequality, this is going to be a solid point on our graph. We plug the 3 in. -2 times 3 is -6, plus 1 is -5. So we get 3, -5. But because there's no equal to right here, next to the 3, this is going to end up being a hollow point. So now we have 2 points, even though one of them is hollow, we can connect the dots and get the middle piece. So -4, 9. Here it is right here. And this is going to be the solid one at -4, 9. And the other one's going to be 3, -5. So 3, -5. And this is going to be the hollow one. All right. Another thing that we can see, and this will help us on this one, is we see the plus 1 here, which means our y-intercept is actually 0, 1. So if you need an extra point in there, just kind of keep your line straight, which I think I'm going to need. You can draw a graph. You can use a ruler if you want. I'm not using a ruler. We got the middle piece done. Good. Hey, let's do that with the last piece. Let's finish up this sucker. Let's finish up the last piece. I'm going to erase this. Of course, you can rewind and look at it later if you want. Last piece is just a horizontal line. It exists between 3 and 8, both with solid points. A horizontal line at 5. So if it was allowed to keep going forever, it would look like this. Because that's the horizontal line, y equals 5. But we don't want it to go on forever. We strictly want it between the x values of 3 and 8. So we're going to get rid of that. Goodbye. And make sure we stay between 3 and 8, but still up here at a height of 5. Need to make sure we put something at the end. We have 2 equal to's here, so we get 2 solid points. That is the graph of the piecewise equation you see here. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope that helped.